London, September 17th, 2025. The streets of the British capital transformed into a powerful display of dissent as anti-Trump protesters gathered against the backdrop of a royal welcome for the US president. The atmosphere was electric, a mixture of spectacle, anger and symbolism. As King Charles III extended state honours at Windsor, the heart of London echoed with chants, placards and giant caricatures mocking the American leader. At the centre of the protest, a now familiar image floated above the crowds: the oversized, inflatable baby Trump balloon, its orange face and diaper mocking the man who once called himself the most powerful figure in the world. Protesters carried signs reading "Resist fascism," "Resist Trump, Trump, climate disaster," and "Orange Lives Matter." Each placard carried its own accusation, linking Trump to authoritarianism, environmental neglect and deception. The demonstration was more than a sideshow. It was an organised political statement. Activists argued that Britain should not treat Trump like a normal head of state, let alone reward him with the rare honour of a second state visit. For them, this was not merely about American politics. It was about Britain's values and whether its leaders were willing to sacrifice them for diplomacy and pageantry. Zoe Gardner of the Stop Trump coalition put the anger into words. Her remarks struck at multiple flashpoints: Trump's rhetoric on race, the allegations of sexual misconduct that continue to shadow him, his stance on Gaza, and his cosy ties with Vladimir Putin. These, she argued, were not distant controversies, they were global threats. But Gardner's frustration did not stop with Trump himself. She also took aim at Britain's own leadership. For activists, the government's red carpet treatment revealed not confidence, but weakness. They accused Prime Minister Keir Starmer's administration of lacking vision, spine and courage, of betraying the majority of citizens who do not support Trump's politics. The royal welcome, they argued, was a mistake that tarnished Britain's international reputation. Gardner pressed further, questioning the legitimacy of such a reception. Her point was blunt: it is not normal for any American president to receive 2 state visits, and Donald Trump should not be treated as if he were ordinary. In her view, honouring him meant legitimising his attacks on democracy, his disregard for the rule of law, and his undermining of global stability. This was a theme echoed by human rights defenders. Kerry Moscow-Dury of Amnesty International UK connected the protest to broader principles. For Amnesty, the protest was about values, rights under assault in the United States, and solidarity from citizens abroad who refused to stay silent. The gathering became not only a protest against a president, but a defence of human rights themselves. Scenes like this are not new to London. The city has a long tradition of dissent, from anti-war marches to climate strikes. But this demonstration stood out for its timing and symbolism: a royal welcome on one side, mass protest on the other. It showcased Britain's democratic paradox, honouring foreign power while citizens denounced it in the streets. Politically, the visit forced Britain into an uncomfortable spotlight. Supporters of Trump pointed to his role in strengthening trade ties and emphasising security cooperation. But critics argued that his legacy is one of division, tearing apart alliances, emboldening authoritarian leaders, and rolling back hard-fought rights. For Prime Minister Starmer, the optics were fraught, a careful balancing act between maintaining the special relationship with Washington and responding to outrage at home. For many activists, the most offensive images came not from Trump's speeches, but from the sight of him riding in a royal carriage, cheered by some, tolerated by others. To them, this was not diplomacy. It was pageantry masking political reality. They cited Trump's decision to abandon climate commitments, his administration's rollback of women's rights, and his rhetoric inflaming racial and cultural tensions. To give such a leader a royal welcome, they argued, was an insult to Britain's democratic tradition. Yet the protest was not just a local event. It had global resonance. Around the world, Trump's visit reignited debates about democracy, authoritarianism, and the future of alliances. In Gaza, his policies remained controversial. In Moscow, his rapport with Vladimir Putin was viewed with suspicion. In Brussels and Berlin, European leaders quietly wondered whether America under Trump could be trusted. Protesters in London channeled all of these anxieties, turning their local action into part of a wider global movement against what they see as a dangerous vision of leadership. As the hours passed, the atmosphere in London blended anger with determination. Drums, chants and megaphones competed with the pomp of Windsor ceremonies. For the demonstrators, the clash of sounds itself was symbolic. grassroots defiance against the polished ritual of state power. By evening, one truth became clear. This visit was about more than Trump. It was about Britain's soul, its politics, and its future. Should the UK honour leaders accused of undermining democracy? Should tradition outweigh accountability? Should royal pageantry overshadow public dissent? Zoe Gardner, Kerry Moscow-Dury, and countless protesters delivered their answer. For them, the answer was no. Britain, they argued, should stand with its citizens and with the global movement for human rights, not with those who undermine them. And so, as the baby Trump balloon hovered above Parliament Square, the day ended much as it began, in contradiction. On one side, King Charles and the government offered a ceremonial embrace. On the other, citizens in the streets declared resistance. It was a stark reminder that diplomacy and democracy do not always walk hand in hand, and that Britain today finds itself at the crossroads of tradition and conscience. This was London, September 17th, 2025, a city that turned protest into a statement and spectacle into a question for the world. What values will Britain choose to honour, and at what cost?
The sides of this road is still open, but the police are planning to shut down the route. People will be moving off here.
Yeah, so we're holding this demonstration today because we want to give a space to the vast majority of British people to make their feelings known about the fact that they hate Donald Trump. They hate his politics, they hate his racism, the fact that he's a rapist, the fact that he is enabling a genocide in Gaza, the fact that he's cozying up to Putin. These are all politics that are abhorrent to the people of the UK. So we want to give feeling. And we also want to tell our government that the way they're behaving towards Trump, it reflects their total lack of spine, their lack of vision, their complete failure to stand up for Britain and give us something to be proud of. So we want to see a change in direction in our politics. The vast majority of people are not reflected by the narratives that we've been seeing repeated by this government, and we want to change. It isn't normal for a president to get 2 state visits, and we shouldn't treat Donald Trump like a normal president. He is undermining the Constitution and democracy and the rule of law in the United States. He is a threat to the safety and security and prosperity of everybody around the world. We should not treat him like a normal president, and we certainly shouldn't honour him given the horrendous politics that he represents. How many people
So yeah, I mean, we're here to show Donald Trump and to show the UK government just how much human rights actually matter to the UK population. We're seeing this, like with despair, we're seeing this rollback of rights in the US. And we are here to say, not in our name. You know, we need to point out what's wrong and also to show the strength of support for human rights and why they matter to us in the UK. So that's why we're here today.